Hello, welcome back. We are right on the precipice of definitely the most significant event of the campaign so far. So if you've not seen the previous 29 parts, you can go back and watch them if you like, but obviously feel free to keep watching from this point. Things are about to get very interesting. So we've got about 4 different forces that are ready to attack the Romans. We've got this force right here, and I've rejigged this slightly, so if you remember it looking slightly different in the previous part, I have kind of rearranged it a bit. So we should be pretty capable of taking down Rome with this particular force. Over in the west, in Iberia, we're getting ready to attack the Julii from here. And then we have some forces in Greece ready to attack the Brutii. And we also have some forces ready to sail over in this ship. And we're going to send them over to Croton, where I'm hoping they'll just about be able to handle the garrison. Well, the garrison's fine. There's obviously a pretty huge garrison at Tarentum, which could come down to the south and take us on, so need to be ready for that. But let's go for it. Let's go ahead and turn against the Senate and see how it all goes. So we can actually go straight in here, which is unexpected, but I'm pretty sure they'd be reinforced if we tried. And so I don't necessarily want to do it. Yeah, so they'll have a lot of backup if I go for that. I'm pretty confident I can take them on if they come to attack me first. But in a siege situation, I feel like we're going to lose a lot of the advantages we would have had. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to wait for one turn and allow the Senate to attack us directly. And I think we should be able to handle that a lot more easily. And it's only going to take one turn, so definitely worth doing. And then a few of our extra forces we have over here, we're going to send over to Quintus Scipio. I feel like maybe I've imbalanced this slightly because this is clearly not the hugest of forces, and there are really a lot of Brutii forces to our east. So this is going to be difficult, but I do have a plan. I'm going to take at least one more family member. I think I might just go ahead and take the faction leader since we're probably going to need him. That doesn't make Capua too happy, but I'm sure we can fix that if we just drop them down to a normal tax rate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to park the faction leader up around here, and as you can see that pretty much blocks this pass between the two mountains, and so they're going to have to come up and try and fight us through here. And because we're next to two mountains, I'm hoping that's going to enable us to basically park ourselves on some pretty excellent elevation and be able to use the terrain advantage to hopefully take them all down. It is a lot, 3 big stacks there, but I think we can probably do it. We've got some really elite units here. So I think that will be fine. Outlawed by the Senate, not too surprisingly. Alliance in tatters. Scipii, Brutii, Scipii. Brutii war. Doesn't say we're at war with the Julii yet. I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm not sure if that's just... Yeah, we definitely are. Not sure why that didn't come up. Okay, so that's going to happen. We're going to send this navy down to the southwest. We're going to send it all the way back to Thapsus, because over in Thapsus we've got quite a few spare units, and I think I'd like to just go ahead, send them up to take Corrales, which is pretty weakly garrisoned, so it should definitely be doable. And we have a few extra units coming in Carthage too, so definitely we'll have a big enough force to do that. A little bit concerned about the rebels here, but I think we're just going to let them go. They're probably costing us some money, but that's honestly probably fine. And we've got our army boarded on this ship here. I'm actually going to go ahead and send the Auxilia too, just in case they do come at us with General's bodyguards. Auxilia should at least be pretty cost effective in that scenario. We're going to go over to Croton, launch the siege, build a couple of siege towers, a sap point and a couple of rams. Probably a 3rd siege tower would be good if we do hold out for the siege, which we might not need to. We can probably just auto-resolve that one next turn. We're going to take this pretty huge force here and launch an attack on Thermon, which will obviously be massively in our favour. This guy's a little bit trapped, so I think what I'll probably do is I'll bring this force up from the south. Might have to actually fight this navy, but clearly massively in our favour, so we push them back. We can now board the ships. And we're going to move to Tarentum, I think, with this force. This is a pretty big force. We could also go for Apollonia, that's definitely an option, but I think we can probably also go for Apollonia with our forces from Thessalonica, Phylazora, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and attack this unit of war dogs. It's probably the lamest possible fight to begin the Civil War with, but I don't want it to go back and reinforce. So let's just get this out of the way. Let's just wipe these out, and then there will be a lot bigger and a lot better battles coming up. Pretty straightforward, really. We're just going to go ahead and wipe out all these dogs. They are charging towards us pretty rapidly, but I'm hoping the sheer number of archers we have here should pretty much completely clear them out before they can do anything to us. We can see that most of them are already gone. We can end the battle there, or we can just continue it and wipe up what's left. There's pretty much nothing left anyway. Final man does go down. We do actually take a loss there, which is kind of annoying. Shouldn't have sent the cavalry in, but never mind. Now, this particular force is obviously very imbalanced, and that's not ideal. But I think it might still be worth just going for Apollonia. If they do come to attack us, a unit of Auxilia we can probably handle. In the town, they've got Roman Cav, that's a little bit more difficult. They also have the Plague here, worth bearing in mind. Perhaps don't want to go in there straight away. Could probably wait there. Can definitely bring up a couple more units just to be safe. So let's bring up some more Roman Cav, and let's bring up the Auxilia too. And we're going to give it just one turn, and then go for it next turn. I think that's probably a little bit safer. If we're really lucky, the Plague will expire in that time, but that's fairly unlikely. And then this force here, I think we're going to send to kind of back up this force to the south, because we already have a lot to challenge Prorylism with. We're going to need a lot because the Julii have absolutely huge forces to the west there, but 3 big stacks here and some of our very best generals I think should be able to handle Prorylism just fine. So we're going to go ahead. We can actually go straight in here, which is interesting. Let's see just how much we can tilt this first. So our third force is not going to get here till next turn. If we were to go for this, let's see how massively in our favour it is. Not actually that massively in our favour, so I think I'd prefer them to come to us. I'm just going to try and starve them out a bit for now. Diplomat here, we're going to send... I'm not actually sure how many diplomats I have, but I do want to see if I can make peace with Britannia. It's pretty unlikely. But if we can have a situation where Britannia is at war with the Julii, not with us, that would be excellent. We do have a diplomat right here, so let's have a go. Ceasefire, let's try it. Nope, not up for that. Okay, fine. I think we just have to go for it. If they do come to attack us, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Maybe they'll go for the Julii first. Probably not, but we're going to go ahead and send some forces up to attack the Julii. These forces here, I think obviously we don't really need them in the town. So let's just leave behind some of the weaker units. That should probably be fine. So we'll send up a second force there. We'll send these guys up to back up these forces. We've got an extra general, which we'll send to join up too. Oscar's not too happy, but if we just drop them to... Okay, low tax rate's not exactly going to work there. Maybe gone a little bit overboard here. Let's see, if we send back the Equites... Slightly happier, not too great. I think we just have to risk it. We're going to recruit some early legionary cohorts at the end of the turn, so they'll probably be a little bit happier after that. Also have some Auxilia coming in, which we'll just use as garrison. And as far as I'm aware, I think that's just about everything we can do this turn, but it is quite a lot. There's definitely going to be a lot going down. But I think that's okay. This is the weak navy we already took on. They've got some war pigs, incendiary pigs, and onagers. So let's just finish those off. Do manage to sink them, so that's good. We don't have to deal with those later on. And now we can join these up, and we should be able to transport our force a little bit more safely over to Tarentum. But I think that's pretty much it for this turn. I could go for the attack on Apollonia, but I think we're just going to go ahead and end the turn. Well, something I've not spoken about too much yet is the ongoing war with Egypt. We do have a pretty big battle coming up over near Alexandria. But it looks like the Brutii have fallen into our trap. They've come for an attack, and not with many reinforcements either. Just the one stack here should be easily manageable. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so it looks like we're not actually going to get to start with a mountain here, but we do have a nice big hill, and that'll just have to do for now. Okay, they're on their way in. Of course, one obvious weakness with this particular force is we have absolutely no ranged units. So might just have to rush in here and take on the ballista. We've got the general actually, who I think is just a normal unit, coming up to one of our flanks. And I'm pretty sure we can easily just take this guy out just by charging him, so let's go ahead and do that. Probably no reason to risk the faction leader here. He's probably fine either way, but let's just leave him be for now. And let's send up his lieutenant instead. Then these two should probably have more than enough time to chase down the ballistae. What else have they got? So these look like archers. Or perhaps not. Or are they what? Velites, or the Velite equivalent. Light auxiliary, I think. Whereas these are just normal cavalry auxiliary, should be able to pretty easily take them down if we can catch them up. Gonna have to chase them all the way to the edge of the map, most likely. Which is not ideal, but probably just the one unit can handle that, so let's send our general up to take down the ballista. So it looks like they're actually getting ready to fire. I'm not sure if they're going to try and fire at this particular unit, or if they're going for our main forces. I thought they were still a bit too far away for that. But we're just going to have to go for this. Yeah, I think they're actually trying to go for our general here. Or our family member. So we've got some Principes there, which is not a scary unit, but still, we don't really want to fight them, so let's just, while they're nice and distracted, go after the Light Auxilia, should be pretty easy. Gotta take Gladiators, we don't desperately need to take on. Some more Light Auxilia there we can definitely take on, and then we've got some Onagers at the back, which we can probably also go for. Looks like we've managed to catch them with our other unit of Cavalry 2. I can see we're taking a few losses, but I think that is completely in our favour, so that's probably fine. Light Auxilia holding on here, but we're just going to go for the Onagers. I've taken a few losses here, but they seem pretty confident of victory, so I'm not going to worry too much about that yet. And hopefully just our legions will be able to handle the rest. There we go. Okay, so we've successfully scared off their general. I think we can definitely go for a mass rout here. Onagers should be pretty easy to clear out. We do manage to rout them, which is good. They're not quite as resilient as the Light Auxilia were. Some more dogs chasing us down here. We're just going to try and avoid them as much as possible. Let's go for the Light Auxilia once again. These guys have, I think... No, they've not quite managed to chase down the routing general, so we'll leave them be for now. We've got lots of cavalry spare, so there's no big rush to do that. I'm a bit scared by these war dogs, so I'm just going to move away. I don't think we need to fight them right now, so yeah, let's just ignore that. Ballistas managed to hold on for quite a long time, so should definitely go for those. Surprised it didn't take more losses, perhaps because the ballista got in the way. But they are also coming up now to take on our main forces, so we're going to have to get ready for that. This is where the real fight's going to kick off. Hopefully that's all going to handle itself just about fine. Not sure what these are. Velite Gladiators, let's just charge them down, rout them immediately, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to pull these guys back. I don't think we need to really worry about chasing those down, as these guys have been caught by Velite Gladiators over there. I'm going to just move them out. Don't see any reason to take a risk here. Some more Light Auxiliary over there, let's just go for them. Firing our missiles into War Dogs by the looks of it, should be able to get quite a few easy kills there. Over here we've got more Light Auxiliary, which will charge down with our Equites. They actually managed to rout our Lieutenant over there, which is slightly concerning. Okay. We've got another force going for them, so I'm not going to worry too much about their siege. And the family member himself is still alive, so if we just keep him out the fight, he should be fine. Equites routing, that did not take long. Okay, I think we're just going to have to try and protect these by charging in our infantry. Really bad that they can't beat Light Auxilia, that's pretty terrible. But managed to rout a unit of Principes. The Hastati won't hold on for too much longer. General has regained his courage over here. We're taking a few losses here. I think they're kind of surrounding us slightly. We can definitely just charge into these with our cav. Should be pretty easy to bring down. Over here, meanwhile, need to make sure we don't get overzealous with this. So Velite Gladiators there, they already routed one of our generals, so I'm not going to rush in to take those on. Let's try and bring these guys back. We have routed most of these guys. Yeah, looks like we've pretty much broken them on this side. Valyrian mercenaries should be pretty easy to take on. I don't like the look of all these war dogs. That's a lot of war dogs, but I think we just have to go for it. We have actually lost our family member. Okay. Well, that's okay. We have a lot of those. We have lots spare. This unit, I think, is fine. Yeah, we've routed just about all of them. Some Principes there. I think, yeah, they are shaken. So if we go for a nice charge on them, we can hopefully break, even though they do have quite a lot of numbers. Looks like they're actually just trying to leave the field altogether. Gonna hold on for now. Okay, so losing one family member is unfortunate, but I think overall These losses were okay. They still have about 2 or 3 big stacks coming up, but I think we can probably handle those. If we take a similar number of losses to what we took here, that should be pretty much fine. These guys are routing towards us, which is obviously not good for them. We've got quite a few cavalry spare that we can use, and these guys are completely useless now. They've already pretty much expired. They won't last beyond the battle, so let's just go ahead and risk them on some of the units that aren't yet routing. And any spare cav, we're just going to send to chase down the routers because there are quite a few. Yeah, not at all worried if I lose all of these units. They're going to go at the end of the fight either way, so it really doesn't matter. And then we've got some spare cav here that we can use just to finish them off, I think. Velite gladiators there. It's not a great fight for us, but if we do charge them from behind, we can hopefully rout them before they turn to fight us. They do have spears, and I think that's part of the reason they did so well against our general. But they don't have a huge amount of... well, they're relatively confident, so I'm going to pull out. If we charge them from 2 sides at once, I think we'll be fine. Some of them are surprisingly resilient, and others just seem to break immediately. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Okay, so this looks fine. Can't quite pull my units out. They decided to walk. Let's see if we can get them to run. Meanwhile, we're just going to go ahead and charge everyone in at once, make sure our general is safe. We can see him at the back there rearing up, so he's going to be fine. They should rout once they get charged from the other side, which yes they do, and that's officially all of them, so great.
The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee.
Okay, so a total of 176 losses, over 1,700 kills, so if the other forces are similar in size to that one, I think we can definitely handle them fine. We're going to be forced to stay defensive for a little while, but I think the hill did mostly work, so I'm fairly content just to stay where we are. Elsewhere, it looks like the Senate has come for their big attack, so it's probably a good thing actually that we do have a really strong force here. Pretty competent commander too. Let's see exactly what he has. Perhaps I can't do it right now. Okay, well we're just going to go for this. I think we can win this because these guys have a lot of really outdated units. Very experienced, so not necessarily as easy as they look, but I think we can do it. In particular because they do have to come towards us, we can just take a nice defensive position hopefully. Not expecting a big hill here, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so yeah, well, there's absolutely no hill we can use here. There's a very slight incline that I'm hoping we might be able to take advantage of. I'm not really sure. There is a force over there, so that might just about work. Main force is up there, and the third force doesn't appear to be on the map yet. But I don't necessarily think that means it won't spawn. These guys do have more archers than us. We only have the 1 unit. It's a bit of a problem. But I'm hoping we can probably charge these down. They are just velites, so that's not really an issue. Can't see any Roman archers. The force coming in from this direction, on the other hand, is a little bit more solid. Still can't see any archers, but they do have some. I think they're early legionary cohorts, and then they also have a Roman armored general. 109 men on that general unit, so that's going to be quite difficult. I think I'm fairly content just to stay where we are. I think if we try to maneuver too much, we're maybe going to get ourselves in some trouble. We don't really seem to have much range firepower at all, so I think they will actually come towards us. Our archers are able to fire already. Looks like they're starting to come in from this way. On the flank they've got triarii, so can't really use our cavalry for that too much. I'm going to send this guy up just so we can attack someone from behind. Probably not the triarii, but triarii are not going to stand any chance whatsoever against the Praetorian cohort, so I think that will be fine. These guys are clearly meant to deal with cav, so let's send them over this way. And then this particular force doesn't actually have a proper general unit, so that's all going to be completely fine. Coming in with Hastati, we can easily deal with those. Triarii starting to come in from this side. I think we're just going to have to go ahead and charge into these with our infantry. We're bringing the Auxilia too. It's not a good fight for them, but they're there, so let's just go ahead and use them. Taking loads of losses there, the Hastati. We are on fire at will stance, so we will be able to just clean out lots of them. just by throwing our volleys, we don't really need to do anything at all. We will just get lots of kills just from staying put. It looks like they're trying to outmaneuver us somehow. They're not really sending too many in. This unit is coming in, getting absolutely destroyed by our peeler. These guys have got themselves slightly isolated. Let's see if we can rescue them. I'm just going to charge them in, I think, and then we do have our general, who can definitely help out against the Triarii, as it looks like these guys have actually decided not to fully take on the Triarii, which is not good at all. Let's just charge them from behind. We are using Cav here, which is not ideal, but we can rout them, so that's completely fine. I'm going to go after the Velites, and need to make sure we keep those pretty safe. These guys have got themselves isolated, which is not ideal. I'm going to have to just send up some backup, I think. Elsewhere, it looks like some of our units have decided to try to charge down the enemy, which I don't think we want to do. Roman Armoured General is coming in. He's probably the biggest threat of the bunch, so definitely need to be careful of him. I'm going to pull these back too. Might as well try to charge someone in the back while we go for it. Principe's there, I'm hoping we can take down. This is a pretty strong force. They must already have relatively weak morale, as yes, they do break straight away, so that's great. War Dogs there, I don't really want to fight with the general, so I'm going to try and pull him out. Meanwhile, on this side, they've not quite engaged yet, but it looks like they are getting ready to go for it. We're going to have to send in our auxilia to try and deal with those. There's an awful lot going on here. I can't quite make sense of it.
The enemy have brought up reinforcements in a pathetic attempt to save themselves.
Okay, some more Triarii there. Roman Armoured General there, we have to be pretty careful of him.
True Roman has fallen in battle. The enemy leader lies dead upon the battlefield.
Okay, enemy leader is dead, so that is presumably the head of the Republic. So, a good sign for sure. A little bit of lag here. We do have a very big battle on our hands, but it's looking pretty good. These guys are charging in. We do have some Triarii here, not Triarii, but auxilia, which we definitely want to use on the general if we can. I'm going to send in my own general too, hopefully catch him from behind. As over here they seem to be mostly running off. I'm going to try and charge them down with our infantry. Our general's coming in. Should be able to get round here. I'm sure he's getting lots of kills, but pretty confident we can rout him. He has managed to catch our auxilia with some Hastati, which is probably pretty bad for us, but we do manage to rout him. These guys are charging in with cavalry auxilia, that's completely fine, we can deal with that. Elsewhere, I can see some fights happening, but I think we have them pretty well handled. This fight is Triarii versus... not sure who this is. Triarii versus Praetorian cohort, so that should be fine. Just gonna go ahead and rout these. Okay. So we've taken remarkably few losses so far. I did think they were going to come in with a third force, and oh crap, they actually are. Oh my god, wow. Okay, so they did spawn after all. Wow, okay, we need to really prepare for this. Okay, that's bad. I'm not ready for this at all. Let's try and sort this out. This is a complete mess. We're going to have to just try and form up. We've pretty much won the fight everywhere else.
Be praised. The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee.
We're taking loads of losses here. And these are the guys that got caught out by the extra force. Okay, I did not look at the minimap at all, so I had no idea those were coming up. I thought they just hadn't spawned. But there we go. I thought it was going pretty well, but we now know why. There's another big army coming up. Let's see what we can do. So they've got Armored General, a few other things. There's a unit of Velites here that we should try and charge down. Should be able to get them pretty easy. 74 Auxilia. I think we could use them. This is pretty bad. I don't think we're going to be able to run them away in time. It's Roman Armoured General, so not a good fight at all for these. I want to try and pull them out if we can. These guys coming in too. Yeah, they do manage to rout one of our units. Okay, let's see what we can do. Bring these in too. Elsewhere, these guys are steaming in. Praetorian Cav, so pretty tough. But we have got a lot of infantry here, so I think we can mostly handle it. Roman Armoured General is taking on our leader. We do have the number advantage at least. Let's see, okay, so this is a lot more chaotic now. I'm slightly worried. Unlike gladiators, they should be fine to deal with. Yeah, we can deal with those, that's okay. Let's see, what else have we got? So these guys are currently charging people down. Let's bring them back.
Show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only frightened
Over on this side, we've got 2 units of Praetorian cohort taking on an armored general. I think they're mostly doing okay. We're kind of flanking them, so that's probably fine. These guys need to just take down the infantry, I think. Okay, this is a little bit tougher. I think Samnite gladiators do have spears, so I am going to try and pull these out.
The enemy general is slain.
Another general down, that's great.
Fear us. It is time to press
Still
the
quite a bit more. Hastate's not too tough, we can deal with that. Our general over here is dealing with another SPQR family member. But I'm betting on him to win, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. These guys can easily charge down the cavalry auxilia, and these guys can go to flank the Samnite gladiators. Big force of infantry here should be fine. Okay, who's routing there? Auxilia. Okay, not too surprising. Let's see, so we have lost one guy. Okay, didn't go too well. Over here, meanwhile, I think we're losing here too. Yeah, we're definitely losing, so I'm gonna have to just try and pull out. I might lose him. We need to get our general back just to shore up the morale. Try and take down the Hastati, that should be fine. I think leader has survived, so that's great. These guys are gonna charge in. Try and just rout them if we can. They are the first to rout, so that's a good sign. Over here, we should be able to do something with these. They're not great. But hopefully the numbers here can just about work. This is not good, but I'm going to just charge in my Archer Auxilia. Obviously not a good matchup at all, but I'm hoping just the sheer numbers here might be able to turn things around. I'm going to send 1 unit of infantry up too. And looks like we are mostly routing them. Ooh, crap.
And now he feeds the carrion birds.
So he's the one who flees, but we're the one who lose our That's so annoying. Okay, fine. Still, mostly in our favour. We've definitely done a little bit more damage to them than they've done to us. Let's see what we can do. So we do have 1 family member left. He's routing, but he survived, so the army will have something to push on with. You have to be a little bit careful of morale, though. Don't have our general to shore that up anymore. Do have his bodyguards though, so I might as well use them. This is looking pretty bad. Auxilia taking on cavalry auxilia. It should be in our favour. Let's see if we can back them up with the Praetorians. Yeah, we do manage to rout them, so that's good. Lots of routes going on here. Not looking good for our Archer Auxilia. I'm gonna try. Oh, well, they actually rout. Perfect. Okay. That's another one down. Let's see what's left. So they've got some Hastati that I think they'll break pretty quickly. Yeah, they have actually broken. Not actually anywhere near us, but they do break. Okay, so that's pretty much everything the Senate has. So I'm hoping we just get to take Rome straight away. But if we don't, we definitely want to try and clear up as many as we can. Okay, so a bit sad about losing the general, but I think that was definitely a good fight. There should be pretty much nothing left of the Senate now, so we can be fairly happy with that. Let's see. There we go. So, total of just under 4,000 kills. We have lost about 1,000 men in total. But yeah, definitely a good trade. We're going to need these units to be still alive because there's a lot of Julii and Brutii forces to the north. So if we bring over our force from Greece, I'm hoping we'll have just enough in Italy to hold them off. Let's see, do we conquer Rome for that? Doesn't look like we do. Okay, so no Rome just yet. Let's see what happens. So no more fights at the end of the turn, that's good. Can't have too much left here. Cannot assault as we don't have any units capable of taking buildings. Okay, so I guess when the general dies you actually lose your siege equipment, which is a bit weird. Okay, so we can't take that this turn, but there's not much left, so I think we can definitely take that pretty soon. The Brutii are scattered. Looks like they're still going to the north here. Not sure exactly why. But we do have our force here, which we're now going to be able to drop off next to Tarentum. I think this should be strong enough to deal with whatever they have in Tarentum, so let's just go for that. Can't besiege them this turn, but yeah, we can definitely deal with that. And let's try and join these up. Or at least use them both in this next fight. And let's just try and sink these. Done some damage to them at least. And yeah, I think we've made a pretty good start here. We are pretty ready to keep pushing things. I feel like we can just auto-resolve this. Let's just do it. Take a few losses, but that's fine. Take the town. It's really low population, so I'm just going to occupy it. And yeah, it's been over half an hour, so I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Check the playlist link in the description if you want to watch the next part. Otherwise, if it's not been uploaded yet, you will of course see it if you are subscribed. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.